It's time to take another look
Right back at you.
at entrepreneurs, education, entertainment, and more.
Why don't y'all take
With Stephanie Phelps, Anthony Brown, and Melanie Murphy. And now, here's your host, Stephanie Phelps.
So, Anthony, we have with us Adaora Schmiedl and Betsy Cisek.
They are some wonderful people from the Fairhill Center.
Exactly.
So we're so glad to see you here and to join us today and allow us to take another look at what you all do in the community.
Yeah, so you're over at Fairhill Center, and Adaora, let's start with your role over there. What are you doing?
I am the Director of Development and Marketing. So I raise money and get the word out about Fairhill.
Let me hold $20. Doesn't hurt to ask.
I'll take it. But one of the things that I do is I work with a huge group of people because my department is just me. So people say, well, how do you do that as just one person? And I say, it's not one person. We're a big team, and our team is about 180 strong. And people say, oh my goodness, you...
Right, I'm like, where you get 180 people from?
Well, half of those people, we call them unpaid team members. And then we have paid team members. So much of what I do is working with what we call volunteers in the greater community. But we really like to think of them as team members because we could not do anything we do without our team members. And Betsy is our director of Human Resources.
Director of Human Resources. Okay.
And a lot of folks have volunteer coordinators. At Fairhill, we don't have a volunteer coordinator. We have Betsy. And she works both with paid and unpaid staff members to keep our team sort of moving. And we all go through the same kind of interview process when we start a job. Whether we're
Even for volunteers?
We do. We
Okay.
do. We take it very seriously. And but that's not to say that there aren't a lot of different ways to volunteer at Fairhill.
Well, let's if you can maybe break down, give us an idea of what are some of the roles and responsibilities of the volunteers.
Great. Well, let me share that with you. At Fairhill, we have a really unique way of dealing with our human resources. We look at human resources as an integrated model. There are lots of talents and people with time and commitment to Fairhill, and then we have a certain amount of work to get done, and we just look at the big pool of human resources that we have, and some of those people are paid, some of them are unpaid, some are student interns, and they are across the age span, and they are in every facet of our organization, everywhere from done in a day outdoor landscaping projects for corporate service days and church groups. We've had large family gatherings come and do their family reunion at Fairhill and help us in the outdoor doing landscaping and gardening, all the way up to retired CEOs who come in and use their skills that they have been using in the corporate world for all those years, and they're not ready to just retire, and they would like to give back to their community, and they'd like to stay engaged, and Fairhill has lots of opportunities to help them do that.
Now, this is for either of you, and I'm thinking maybe for Adaora, what is your biggest way that you recruit people, both the paid and the non-paid team?
That's actually a great question because I would say that it's many faceted because Fairhill is so diverse. People come to the Computer Learning Center, maybe they come in because they're a caregiver and they need to learn more about caregiving, or they're a kinship grandparent. I mean, there's so many ways they come in. So once they engage, a lot of times they say, you helped me, how can I help back?
Okay.
But one of the ways that we are really recruiting volunteers right now is we have two what we call evidence-based programs, and these are programs that have been tested nationally, one of them in Maine and one of them in Stanford, California. And there's been research done, and all the academics have sort of blessed it and said this works. And one of the programs is called Matter of Balance, and it's for anyone who's ever fallen or is afraid of falling, because nationally, I think they've determined over 50% of fatal injuries or deaths can be traced back to falling. something as simple as falling. So it's a real big concern, and Matter of Balance actually helps people prevent falls. The other class is a chronic disease management class, and it helps people manage pain and long-term illnesses. And both of those classes, once you participate and you learn about it, there is a role for coaches.
Okay.
So you can learn, and then you can come back and teach. And I think that's a great model for Fairhill, because I would say so many people, and you talk about recruiting volunteers, so many people come because they want to learn or they want to gain services, and they stay because they want to share what they've learned.
Okay.
So to our viewing audience now who may be watching, if they want to become a volunteer, what's the first step?
The first step is they can check out our website, which is www.fairhillcenter.org, and we have all of our volunteer job descriptions online. They can download the application, or they can just give me a call at Fairhill and they can set up an interview. And like I said, we have an integrated human resources model where we have job descriptions, but we are definitely flexible. When someone comes in and they have a certain skill set and they have a certain amount of time that they're willing and able to give, then we will create a job that works for them and also works for the organization. Being a unpaid staff member or a volunteer is a real commitment. We do criminal background checks on our volunteers.
Wow.
We have an interview process because we take it seriously. It's a big commitment to the organization to become part of the staff team. There are volunteers and unpaid staff members who are so fully integrated into the staff at Fairhill that some people don't even know who's paid and who's not paid.
Okay.
And
Now, do you ever turn away people? Do you have so many volunteers that you have to turn people away sometimes?
So come back next week, next month, next year.
Well, there have been times where it may not be a good fit. There are lots of places in town that have great volunteer opportunities, and many places boast much larger numbers of volunteers than Fairhill does, but nowhere can they find the depth of opportunity and commitment that you can get at Fairhill, and you can become a fully integrated member of the staff, all the way up to our associate director at Fairhill is a part unpaid staff. We have people who work at our senior guest house, which is housing for temporary homeless seniors. We have people who play chess with them and do transportation.
That's great. I mean, I'm just
There
excited.
is just so much stuff at Fairhill, and you know, I know you talked about those two programs, the Matter of Balance, and what's the other one?
The chronic disease self-management.
Okay, and is there any other major one that you want to plug, because we've just got a few minutes
The
left?
Computer Learning Center.
Okay.
I can't say enough about it. My mother came into town and she wanted to learn about computers, and she had failed in a lot of other things, and she's a pretty smart lady, and she came to the Fairhill Computer Learning Center and said, oh my gosh, for the first time I was taught by people my own age, and I didn't
And
feel
she
like
loved it.
I think
she
that is
loved
great.
it.
It's fabulous. Again, the Fairhill Center, again, is a fabulous place. Hey, we live there. That's where our offices are, and it's a great place. We always have a chance to see some of these wonderful faces.
Yes.
We've been there several times to volunteer ourselves.
That's right. That's what we want to get that in.
So we've done that. So, hey, for more information, go to our website at www.another-look, and we will send you more information if you want to become a volunteer at the Fairhill Center.
Right. Okay. And so, Adaora and Betsy, thank you for being on.
Thanks for having us.
Great work you're doing at Fairhill.